Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Lyric from Lovely Lyric Games, and welcome to the start of our Planet Zoo franchise mode series. Woohoo! I'm super excited about this. So if you don't know, Planet Zoo is a zoo simulation game where you build the habitats, you take care of the animals, and you manage zoos. So this is kind of a throwback to like Zoo Tycoon 2, which I know was really big back in the day. Fun fact, I used to play that. I have the disc for the Ultimate Zoo Tycoon 2 collection. Loved that. It was so much fun. So this is kind of the modern day take on that. It is made by the same people who make Planet Coaster. So if the planet in front of the name seems familiar, that might be why. Planet Coaster and Planet Coaster 2, I think, are more popular than Planet Zoo. But Planet Zoo is a super good game. I absolutely love it. And as you can see up here, they just announced, we just celebrated the 6th-year anniversary for Planet Zoo. And in that, they announced that a sequel is officially coming, which is super exciting for me. I have all the DLC of this game. I have several hundred hours in the game. Love it. And so hearing there's a sequel is very exciting. They just confirmed it's in the works. They didn't there's nowhere near a release date. So it's probably still going to be another year or two before that comes out. But I thought, why not start a Planet Zoo series now? It's something I've been wanting to do. I just haven't gotten around to it. Like I said, I do have all the DLC, so we'll have a wide variety of animals. And if we look, there's some different modes. We are going to be focusing on the franchise mode, but I'll talk about all of these. So the career are different scenarios that you can play through with different challenges, different scenarios, different rules and goals. Times are just the career scenarios that have a time lock. You can do a challenge zoo, which is a standalone zoo with challenge economy and animal care, and then sandbox, which is the freeform mode. And then franchise mode. So franchise mode is essentially a connected series of challenge zoos. We're gonna hop into this menu, and we start by naming our franchise. So I think we're going to call it the Lyrical Sanctuaries because I am lyric, and I've tried other things that sounded better for the name, but none of the spelling fit, so that's what we're settling with. And by starting the franchise, we automatically get conservation credit. So I'm going to cut my face for a sec, but if you look in this corner, you'll see these leaves are called conservation credits. So these are credits that we get for doing things that support animal conservation, so things like breeding endangered species, releasing animals back into the wild, using green power sources, and educating the public on different conservation efforts. And these will be shared between all of our zoos in the franchise. You can see it does cost 100 to start a new zoo. I think that remains stable no matter what. But actually, while my face is tucked, I am going to update our badge and our banner. Actually, that's my favorite banner, so I'm going to keep the banner, but I love the lion badge. I love all these animals, but lions are one of my favorites. I'm definitely a big cat girl. I definitely want to do it in all cat sanctuary at some point. Anywho, so for this franchise, I kind of have a specific plan in mind. So it's going to be probably most similar to the approach that Paws Builds takes in his like ethical and ethical zoos. I'm not going to be nearly as strict with my rules as Paws Build is with his. But I kind of want to make sure all the zoos are animal first. So I want animals to have maximal enrichment. I want them to have very large spaces to roam with plants that remind them of home. And make sure they're in comfortable temperatures. They have good social groups. Like, if they're a herbivore and they have like a herd size of like 3 to 900 to like 99, I want to try and have at least like 10 or 11, like a bigger group than what you might just see at a zoo who's doing the bare minimum. I also want to really make education and educator talks a big fundamental feature of the zoo. That is really something I am excited to do and that I want to do, that I think will be fun to do. I think it is essential that we are really working towards educating the public about animals. That, after all, is what I think zoos should be about. And that's kind of why I'm going with more of a sanctuary than a zoo. It's like the name of these places, because I really want this to be like animal focused. animal priority. I want people to be able to observe them, but really the animals are the priority. I know in Pause Build, they do a lot with the rules and regulations they follow. I'm not going to follow some of them, like I'm going to breed animals even if they're least concerned. But I do really want to make sure the animals are having good, enriching lives. We release animals back to the wild. Maybe we sell some. Things like that. So my other plan is I kind of want to start and progress the series in a way that feels a little more realistic, for lack of a better word. So like, with all the DLCs, there is a barnyard DLC with like petting zoo themed animals. And I want that to be your first zoo, and I think our main base is going to be North America, mostly just because that's where I'm from. So we are going to set up and start a farm animal sanctuary in North America. Then maybe we'll set up a zoo with all North American animals. Then maybe we'll come towards Central America and do one with North and South American, and then a zoo focus on South American, and then I would love to do a European, an African, and an Asian and an Oceanic zoo. And hell, maybe an Antarctic, I don't know. But I don't think that'd be a very big zoo. But that's sort of what I'm thinking. So I kind of want to do one zoo per continent with all the animals in the game from each continent, assuming my PC can handle it, because that is kind of a lot. And then I want to start doing other zoos. So we might have theme zoos. I would love to have a big cat zoo, kind of like a big cat rescue. I would love to have an all primate zoo. Those are things I've thought of. Maybe a sanctuary for hoofstock animals. I would love to have, I think it'd be cool to do predator zoo. I also think it would be really cool to do just like zoos with random mixes of animals, like realistic zoos. Maybe we could look at some animal combinations that real zoos have and maybe not replicate the real zoo, but maybe kind of try to match some of the species. Things like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking in terms of how we're going to progress this franchise. One of my main plans is I will have a playlist with everything for this franchise. Every zoo and video we make for the franchise will all be in one playlist. It'll be like the franchise mode master playlist, and then I will also make smaller playlists for each zoo. So like the Barnyard Rescue will have a playlist, the North America Zoo will have a playlist, etc. So that's my sort of plan for organizing it. I'm not sure how frequently this is going to be posted, just because builds take a while and I am tighter on time, but I am going to try and make this a pretty frequent series on the channel. Like I said, I do love this game. I am excited. And when we make these zoos, I think we are going to be playing on hard mode. This adds extra challenge that's going to really make sure we're making it animal focused. So if you look, well, animal welfare is harder to maintain and animals get stressed faster. So that means we really need to bring our A game when it comes to making their homes and making enriching habitats and habitats where they feel safe. And the one thing I am concerned about is animals get bored of enrichment items. So how I like to play my zoos is I like my animals, once I have unlocked everything, to have like at least one of each type of enrichment like piece that is unlocked for them in their habitat. I've read some speculation online that even if you do that, they might still get bored because they want you to take items out and put items in, which is somewhat realistic. I don't really want to deal with that, but I do want the extra challenge. So if that becomes a problem, we might switch our zoos to be in normal mode. And if that's the case, I will tell you guys. But I did just want to give that disclaimer. It also means guests are harder to keep happy, and it takes more to educate guests, and our staff will get tired faster. So just all the good things, all the realistic things. But I think that will help make the series feel more how I want it to, which is genuinely just like, we're doing this for the animals, research animals, for conservation, and just, we're bringing our A game. That's really what we need to do. So if you guys have ideas for zoos, if you have names for animals, you could comment the species that you want named after you and a name. What species you're most excited to see, what zoo you might be most excited to see out of all of the continents. I would love to hear your thoughts. The other thing too, this is important to know, I almost forgot, is so we'll be able to send animals back and forth between all of our zoos, and we will be sharing these conservation credits. Cash, there is kind of a cheaty way you can move cash back and forth between your zoos, but it's more difficult It's not a built-in mechanic, which is a little annoying, but possible. But these conservation credits will be shared between our zoos, as will all the research and stuff we unlock for all of the animals. So, like, once we research, like, donkeys in our first zoo, all that research will stay across all of our zoos. So we won't have to re-research. Okay, I think that's the last thing. But I would love to hear your thoughts, inspirations. I'm not the best builder in this game, but I am really going to be trying my best to make things look pretty. Don't be too harsh. I'm not a pro. If you're there's plenty of pros out there, but I kind of think I sometimes feel upset when I can't be as good as some of the pro YouTubers I watch. So I kind of want to just be like your average girl making habitats. They might not be the most beautiful, but they're for the animals, and that's what matters. So if you guys are interested in that, please subscribe, stick around. I'm a small channel. I would love to have you hang out. Let me know any thoughts down below, any ideas, name suggestions. I'm super excited to get into it. So, with all that being said, I hope the rest of your day goes well. I hope everything's good, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!